Hello guys, welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome to another episode of Patsy Rates Cars. If you are new to my channel or you don't quite know the format, basically I get my wife Patsy to review a car from a passenger's perspective. Why a passenger's perspective? Well, she can't drive, she can't legally drive due to an eye condition, but it's always good to get her thoughts on cars because you know, she loves cars as much as I do. So this week we are joined by the brand new Suzuki. This week we are joined by the brand new Suzuki Jimny. Now I will just do my quick disclaimer. Now just because Patsy and I share the same surname doesn't necessarily mean that we share the same thoughts. So basically if Patsy says anything mean about the car, Suzuki, blame her, not me. On that note, come on down.
Hello everyone, and yes, I have changed my hair colour again, and no, it's not to match the colour of the car.
And since we last filmed, you've broken your wrist. Yeah.
And again, it's not blue to match the car.
I reckon it is. Right. So, as always, tell us what you think about the design, and I shall follow your lead.
So, first thing I want to mention is this doesn't look any way related to the old Jimny. In a
what?
sense.
Yes, it does.
No, let me finish what I'm saying. Why are you interrupting me to begin with?
Because you're talking nonsense already.
Let me finish what I'm trying to say before you rudely interrupt me.
Well, we'll finish then.
What I am referring to is, if you look at it, its design and its styling are worlds apart. This looks much more modern, it looks much more rejuvenated, it looks like they have sat down and taken the time to redesign the Jimny but keep its original characteristics.
Yes, it has got retro touches, so the round headlights hark back to the Mark 1. You've got the two slats on the side that hark back to the Mark 2. Normally you would have the different style grille which harks back to the previous version, but I've got an optional extra, so I've got a different grille.
Have you now? You've got an optional extra?
I have got an optional extra, yes. The paint is also optional.
Is this an ARC video all of a sudden?
No, I'm just telling you about the car.
One thing I will say is this does look like a G-Wagon.
Yes, it does.
Well, I was going to say...
But that's a good thing, I think.
It does look like a G-Wagon and a Jeep Renegade, is it?
Are you thinking of a Wrangler?
Renegade or Wrangler, the ones with the little cross eye lights, but it does look like they have both mated and the Jimny is its offspring.
Yeah.
What I will say is, I know obviously it's made for off-roading. Yeah,
which is why it's dirty, because I have taken it off-road.
But what I will say is, and I'm going to try and explain what I'm thinking, because my brain doesn't always come through into words.
Bit like mine then.
So if Aaron needs to translate at any point, he will.
I'll put subtitles in.
What I'm trying to explain is, although this is an off-road car and it's got features of it looking off-road, as in the plastic wheel arches, the trim, the big kind of wheels,
the high suspension,
it still looks like a very attractive, what I'm going to say, on-road car. It doesn't look like it's been purely made for off-roading, and what I mean by that is, you know, when you get these off-road cars and they just look, sorry, but they look butt ugly because they've got so much plastic, they've got so much extra padding, shall we say. This has got so much charm and character still, and
it's a good looking car.
Oh, it is, it definitely is. I mean, just talking about kind of its looks, I do like how it's two-tone in colour, so you've got the black roof against the blue paintwork. I must say, I love this blue paintwork.
It's called Brisk Blue.
Brisk Blue?
Brisk. So
brisk, hang on. Light brisk blue, darker brisk blue. Yeah.
Fab. You don't have to talk some crap.
What I will say is there's only really two colours I like the new Jimny in, and that's the brisk blue, and I'm going to call it lemon and lime green. It's not called lemon and lime green. It's the
kinetic yellow.
Well, lemon and lime green sounds better, so we call it.
Okay, we'll stick with that. Suzuki, you've been told.
Coming round to the back. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the lights are in a different position now.
They certainly are. Yeah. So on the previous version,
on the sides,
so basically Suzuki has moved them to the bottom, just so it makes the access to the boot wider and more practical.
I prefer the rear design of this car compared to the other Jimny.
Okay.
If I'm going to be really picky, so
mine's stinging nettles behind you.
Ah, that's all right. So I'm going to be picky. I would love, you know how the old Jimny's on the wheel box, I'm going to call it, has the word Jimny written across it.
Wheel cover, yeah.
I'd prefer that. I think it's a bit plain at the back is what I'm trying to say.
Well, you may be able to get that as an option, or, you know, I'm sure if you took it to, you know, a company, I'm sure they could just like print Jimny on it. You know, exactly. Yeah. So yes, I'm sure you can do that modification yourself quite easily.
Only thing I want to mention before we jump into the car,
yeah,
and I'm sure you've mentioned this in your reviews, but this car has so many clever things on it.
Yes.
So the one thing I really love is, and I know you've mentioned it, is I'm going to call them car gutters. Like
car gutters, okay.
Yeah. So if you, for example, have you ever been, for example, in a car, like Monique, the MX-5 is a good example. I always moan once it's rained, I've opened the door and I get piddled on.
Yeah, piddled on.
This stops that happening. There is guttering to, should we say, make the flow of water go away, around and away from the car. So
yes,
if you were to open the door and it had just rained, it would, and it comes down.
It comes down here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I'd love to see how they're going to improve on this when they make another Jimny. I know it's going to be years down the line.
A lot of years.
For me, this feels like it's the first of production of the Jimny. It's so kind of unforgettable, should we say. It's so kind of rejuvenated and modern that it's gonna forget there's a model before it.
It's going to be a future classic for sure. Let's jump in.
I don't know about jump, but we'll give it a shot.
Okay, let's step in then and talk me through what you think
I'm not stripping, don't worry, I'm just getting the microphone out so I don't sit on it.
Let us know what you think of the inside, and darling, don't forget it's a cheap car, because I know you're going to say, oh, it's got hard scratchy plastics in it. But don't forget it's cheap and it's rugged.
The first thing I will say, I do much prefer the inside of this Jimny to the other one.
Well, the last one was so dated inside, wasn't it?
I know. For some reason, I feel higher in a riding position in this Jimny than the previous one.
Oh, do you? Now that is interesting.
I prefer the riding position in this. I feel I've got more window space, so I've got like a lot more kind of light coming in.
Yeah, the windows on this car are massive.
Absolutely.
Absolutely massive. Good visibility.
Obviously, it's been modernised in here. Yeah. But I'm going to try and explain it, but it's been modernised, but it still feels a bit retro and rugged inside. Yeah. So I think the most modern kind of thing in here is the touchscreen, but it still feels very rugged and kind of grunty in here. Grunty? Yeah, kind of like rough, ready to go kind of thing. Okay. What I do like is I've got a bar, like I've actually got handlebar, like somewhere to hold. It doesn't feel very sturdy though, but I've got somewhere to hold on to here for when you're taking it off road. What I will say, and I said this to you on the way here, and just for context, before people think, why is she driving a tractor? I used to work on a farm, so I've driven a tractor. What I will say is, this gear stick here, it's like it's been taken off a big tractor on like a working farm. I was about to say, I've had my hand on smaller gear sticks when driving a tractor, but that would have sounded wrong. No, it would have said if you said I've had my hands on smaller knobs, that would have sounded wrong. This feels like it should be in some kind of farm and machinery. But apart from that, in here, I've got enough space, I've got a nice ride height, it feels modern, but it's still got the touch of being rugged. The only downside is I really don't like the seats. I don't feel supported. They're quite firm. Yeah, but I can't expect that in a car like this. Yeah, the seats are comfortable enough, but for me in particular, I do find that they lack support for my shoulders and upper back. Aren't they? There's no curvature or anything to them. Well, you know, they're built to a cost, aren't they? I'm sorry, but these headrests, I could serve a 3-course dinner for my family off that. What they're big? Just a bit. Yeah. Anyway, come on, jump in. Well, if you've got, some people might have a big head. Oh, my autofocus. My autofocus can't even focus on them. Right, on that note, I think it's time we go for a drive. It is. So, let me talk you through the engine, because I know you're going to be impressed. Hang on, let me brace myself. It's a good thing you're sat down. So, I'm braced. We have a 1.5 litre, naturally aspirated 4-cylinder petrol, which offers 101 horsepower. With 130 newton meters of torque. You are dazzled, aren't you? However,
joking aside, this car doesn't need a lot of power because it's a light car, and it's more powerful than the previous car, which had a 1.3 litre engine. And this engine is 15% lighter. Now, this engine can either be mated to a 5-speed manual gearbox or a 4-speed auto, but as you know, I've got the 5-speed manual. The top speed is 90 miles per hour.
Not even 100?
Not even 100. Could be worse though, if you go for the 4-speed auto, that speed falls down to 87 miles per hour. But obviously, this car is not built for speed, it's built for off-roading. So as standard, you get the Suzuki's All Grip Pro system. So you can either drive the car in two-wheel drive, which means the power is fed to the rear wheels, not the front, as I almost said a few moments ago. You can drive the car in 4-wheel drive, and you can actually change it on the fly, like so. So we now have 4-wheel drive. Or you can have 4-wheel drive with a low-range gearbox, but you have to stop the car to pop it into that mode. Okay. Unlike the last car, I now have, well, anyone who buys this car now has a lever to change the driving modes, whereas the last car had buttons, and following customer feedback, Suzuki has gone back to a lever system, and it feels more manly. You can actually feel, the system working, whereas when you press a button, it's like, nah. So yeah,
How is it?
Nah. So I personally prefer the lever system. But yes, what are your first thoughts as a passenger?
It's very, actually not it. I'm not staying still. I'm constantly moving. I'm constantly jiggling in my seats.
Yes, the ride is busy and it is quite fidgety.
Like, parts of my body are moving one way, the other parts of me are moving the other.
However, I'm sure you'll agree, compared to the last Jimny, this is a better road car.
On the road it is, yes. I mean, I understand this car isn't going to be built for pure luxury and comfort, and you're not going to get super padded Recaro supportive seats, and you are going to be jiggled and wiggled and pickled and wiggled all over the place. I get that.
Right, I do apologise, guys. The car is starting to steam up a little bit, so I do need to put the fans on. So if you can hear it on the audio, I do apologise. But yeah, the old car, you were a passenger in the old car. It is very bouncy, and
this has lost its springiness. It doesn't feel like the car is on pogo sticks.
Yeah, driving the last car gave you some idea of what it would be like to drive around in Tigger. The handling is better in this car. Yes, it's still a bit roly-poly, but...
Harry's roly-polies.
Have you read that?
Yeah.
But...
It's more roly than his roly-polies. I must admit, though...
It's not bad, is it? I think
this car feels more jiggly purely for the fact in the old car you were jiggling and jumping, whereas in this car you're only jiggling. So you've forgotten about the jumping, so the jiggling is becoming more jiggly.
What? I've lost you completely. But this car is fun. It brings a smile to your face.
It does.
This car, it's an occasion. Yeah, okay, it's not the best car to drive on the road, but it's got character.
But some cars that are not the best cars to drive on the road are the ones that are more joyful. What I'm trying to get at is, okay, if someone said to me, here you go, Patsy, here's the keys to, I don't know, a McLaren 720S.
Oh, yes, please.
Of course, that is going to be enjoyable on the road, but it's a different type of enjoyment you get with a supercar to something as kind of cheeky and, should we say...
Noisy?
Cheeky, noisy, mechanical, kind of cheap as this.
Yes.
This gives you that kind of deep, kind of belly giggle laughter.
Yeah, it does.
Whereas the 720S gives you the professional kind of light giggle.
This car, it makes you laugh like a drain, and...
Laugh like a drain?
Yeah. You've never heard that expression?
No.
Oh, it does make sense, I must admit, but it is an expression. But, it's a car you don't take seriously. You can drive it with a smile on your face. And it's just so charming.
It's got like that, it's got a really childish, cheeky little grin look on it. It's like it's got little bug eyes that are just glaring at you going, oh, can we go for a drive? Can we? It's got that little childish look about it, and I like that. And
this car, it will make your bank account smile as well, because it starts from just £15,499. Now, what other off-roader can offer such good value? Yes, I know you've got the Dacia Duster, but you know, in my opinion,
sorry, that's freaking ugly.
Oh, shots fired. But pound for pound, this off-roader is one of the best around, if not the best. Now, the car we are sat in is a bit more money though, because we've got more features, we've got a few options. So this car is actually £20,297. But even that is unbelievable value if you ask me. Amazing stuff. So before we take this baby off-road, what are your thoughts on comfort? And be honest, because let's face it, the comfort isn't amazing.
If I have to think about it, like when you've just mentioned it, it's made me rethink about the comfort and how...
Quite a bloody rain.
And how it's not very comfortable. I'm rolling about, the seats are quite firm, they're not supportive. But until you had reminded me of it, I forget all about the comfort because...
You're having too much fun?
Exactly, my mind is elsewhere. So unless, when you first get into the car, the first 5 minutes or so, you're like, oh, it's not very comfortable, I'm rolling about all over the place. But when you kind of delve into the character of the car more and you start enjoying yourself, I totally forgot about the comfort. But then when you reminded me how naff it was. So that's your fault.
No, I'm sorry. Well, soon we shall take the car off-road and you're going to want to hold on.
I've only got one hand to hold on.
Then in which case you're going to get concussion.
I'm going to end up in your lap.
But promises. Right, haha. Time for us to go off-road. So, let's stop. I can pop the car into the low-range gearbox. Like so. Ready? Right, it will be bumpy, I'll warn you.
It's alright. Oh my god! My spine!
What did I just say to you?
Ow, something just crunched in my spinal column. Ow. If you make me hit my broken wrist, I swear to God, I'm not going to be impressed.
Well, hold on then.
I've only got one bloody arm. I bet you get some weird looks when you come down here.
I do, yeah. You shouldn't be driving here. Like, this is perfectly legal. Look at that. Look how easy the Jimny did that.
It felt very, very grippy. The only thing is its turning circle isn't too great.
It's alright.
Do you know what I love? Sorry, let me start again. Do you know what I love about the Jimny?
Go on.
You can hear, for example, you can hear and feel the whole mechanics of the car working. So if you listen carefully, you might not hear it over the rain, but you can hear the engine mechanically change with every instruction that you give it.
Yeah, and
you can hear the engine and the mechanics and the transmission changing, and you can feel, like, even as a passenger, I love being able to...
Move out the way.
I love being able to feel... I love being able to feel where the car is going underneath me. I love being able to feel the tyres and the movement work.
Yeah.
I am a bit upset that there isn't any water kind of bumps going along.
There's one splash down here, but obviously where it's been so hot recently in the UK, it's all dried up.
You can just hear it working. I don't know why I get so much enjoyment from that sound.
It's mechanical, isn't it?
It is.
Now this car, compared to the old car, can drive over more angles than before. So
sorry to interrupt you, is there a certain angle it's maximum it can go to? Maximum?
Yeah, so the approach angle it's got an approach angle of 37 degrees,
Okay.
a ramp breakover angle of 27 degrees and a departure angle of 49 degrees.
That's
right.
impressive, actually.
Well, I can remember it, I know. Right.
And this has got hill descent.
Hill descent, which we are using right now. So my feet are away from the pedals.
Yep. And the car controls its speed of how it goes down the hill. It controls its own kind of, like, sturdiness and speed.
All I need to do is just steer. Now I actually took this down a 20% gradient at Millbrook, which is quite steep.
Yeah.
And the way how it handled it was fantastic, bearing in mind.
With hill descent.
Yeah.
So you let the car do itself, and you had full trust in it.
Completely. And now we're starting to even out a little bit, so let's turn that off.
It's good to take a car like this off road as a passenger, because.
Now I just want to go through this bit here because this bit's really quite muddy and rutty. So this will be a good test.
Will it get through there?
It did yesterday.
It did? Oh my god.
And guys, this car is on road tyres as well.
Oh god, that's really deep, Aaron. Are you joking me? Oh my sideways! Oh my shh! Oh, I'm scared.
See how incredible is that?
Get it. Actually, don't, because they catch up with us.
And sod's law, we'll get stuck next time. But just, that's a proper deep rut, particularly on your side.
I thought we would bottom out and the wheels would be spinning in the ditches. That's what I was worried about.
Nope, this car's got a very good ground clearance, and it means you can do things like that. And just how easy was it? It
just felt like it was a knife slicing through butter.
Yeah, granted there were some times where you can feel the car was struggling perhaps a little bit, but like I said, this car is on road tyres.
The thing is, this car knows how to compensate itself, if you know what I mean. It's somewhere like that.
Oh, that's a fun.
It knows how to compensate the angles it needs, and it does it just like that. Yeah,
it's got, it's a very well-worked system.
And reposition my microphone.
And you can tell that years of research and development have gone into it. It's amazing how such a cheap, small off-roader can bring such joy.
Don't get me wrong, if I had a spare 15-16 grand, I'd buy one.
Well, you'd be waiting a long time to get it though.
I know, but I'm sure you could find one second hand.
Well, actually, that'd be quite interesting to see what they're going for in the used car market, because it wouldn't surprise me if,
trying to make profits so you can get them sooner.
You hear about people flipping Ferraris and like Porsches, but you wouldn't imagine someone flipping a Jimny.
Oh, what's down there? Oh, you can't go down there, there's a tree.
And guys, in case you don't know what I mean by flipping, it's when you buy a new car that people want, that's got a waiting list, and then you sell it for a profit, which is it's not really what you should be doing.
Let me know if you're going to do that.
Oh, I'm going to do that.
All I just saw is my eyes go.
Did you think we're going to flip?
I don't know, I just felt like I was getting ready to re-break my wrist again.
But yes, flipping cars is wrong.
Oh, but so many people do it.
Yeah, sadly so. But yeah.
And it's amazing how much extra people would pay to get the car sooner.
Yeah. So, what is your rating out of 5?
Overall?
Yep.
Off-roading 5.
Has to be.
4.5. Like, in general.
That's high praise.
It only loses half a point for comfort, and I'm not saying I want it to be luxury in here. I would just like the seats to be a bit more supportive and a bit less firm. Yeah,
maybe if it had like the seats from like a Vitara.
Yeah.
That'd be quite good.
But apart from that, I do love the Jimny. I love the Jimny. It's really grown on me. It's wiggled smuggled its way into my heart, and I can see why a lot of people love this car and are so passionate about it.
Yeah, I must admit, like I said earlier, no, like I said in my, I don't know whether it's this video or my walk around video. I will be genuinely sad to hand the key back to Suzuki, because this car, it makes you smile. I love it. Right, what do you love most about the car?
Its character, its capabilities, its oh, what's the word?
I don't know.
How it can make you smile and bring out, like, your emotions.
Okay. And what don't you love about the car?
Just the comfort.
Fair enough. Which, yeah, that's to be expected. Right, so time for us to end. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If so, please do give it a massive thumbs up. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click that bell icon so you get notified every time I, or indeed Patsy and I, make a video. And if you aren't subscribed, guys, what are you waiting for? Be sure to subscribe for more car obsession. Oh, am I boring you?
No.